Welcome back, folks. We are ready to roll. Tech issues resolved, hopefully. And Tom, we're looking at TYLOO versus Checkmate. This game starts on Mirage. And, well, if you guys at home don't know a lot about TYLOO, it's kind of their map, Tom, isn't it?
Well, yeah, let's put it this way. If you combine two of their maps, you have 40 maps played. And then every other, you got 10, 19, 22, 26. There you go, quick math. So all the other maps combined, they played 26 times. The first two maps in this series, they played 40. So I think that pretty much sells a pretty picture of what maps they like to be playing. Mirage is the choice nearly every single time, and Inferno is up there as a third map they always seem to play. And we know they always win that third map within the series. As I said, they have lost it once. Most teams, other than Vici, don't even get double digits versus them. So realistically, Inferno is probably going to go the way of TYLOO. Checkmate, they need to try and do something on Mirage.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Checkmate picking into Inferno as well. I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, TYLOO definitely got them the... Yeah, it's their best map for sure, but TYLOO as well. Quite comfortable there. I guess sometimes you got to play to your strengths, and it looks like the strengths of TYLOO are coming through with headshots delivered across the board, a 3K for Slowly, and a 1-0 start for TYLOO. Very convincing pistol going their way.
Let's be real though, Mitch, all right? So, Checkmate don't play Vertigo. What other map do you choose? Like, you have to go for your strengths. You can't, you're picking Dust 2? No one likes to pick Dust 2, especially not versus TYLOO. Yeah. That's the third map anyway. There's no good choice. The Overpass, 100% win rate for TYLOO. Nuke, again, Checkmate have played it once. They lost 16-7 versus Invictus. They can't pick that. This is their best choice.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there. Train could have looked good. Obviously, Overpass would have been ideal, but
Isn't TYLOO aren't going to be perma-ban of TYLOO.
Exactly. Yeah. And then something like Overpass, it couldn't have happened because TYLOO would have just wrecked them on it. Yeah, Vertigo as well, same thing. Obviously, Checkmate banning that out. So yeah, I think that the only way this could have looked okay is if a train came out, and obviously TYLOO removed that immediately, identifying that would be an issue. So yeah. It's not ideal, but it is how it is. And sometimes when your team, especially a team like Checkmate, and you've got that limited map pool, a limited number of maps that you're actually really comfortable on, this is going to happen, right? You're just rolling a dice depending on what team you come up against, and it just so happens that TYLOO's map pool perfectly aligns with what Checkmate would want to go with. And I think that gives TYLOO a pretty distinct advantage considering who they are.
A couple of rounds in a row now, we've seen the pistols be able to at least open things up, and Blitz has managed to find another one. They've invested some extra cash into this round, and Attacker still just wide peeking these angles. It's a bit awkward, but he's managed to get 4 kills. And now Techno, young gun, 16 years old, standing for this squad. Someone who we've pretty much been a big fan of so far. He's got to try and at least do some extra damage. Even a single kill here would be fantastic. A big bonus for them going into the next round, as they are going to be coming in, or at least I think they're going to be coming in with a buy. The money's still a little bit sketchy. I'm quite confused why they've spent so much. Like, the whole point of having these sort of eco rounds is that you're able to get a good buy on the board. This is round number 4, Mitch, and they're not going to have a good buy.
Well, I see. The thing is, Tom, that previous round, I think we can both agree they needed a bomb plant, right? They left the bomb in T-spawn. I mean, just look at this on the replay. These players are out on the site, taking fights even, over towards Attacker who's in jungle. And had they just have had the bomb with them, it could have been an easy plant. And I don't know who else would take it, because there were 2 players going mid, one going through under. Obviously, then the A players are the ones that should have that bomb with them. So very odd decision making by Checkmate. I feel like they just missed a little bit of the strategy there, and it's ended up costing them. But this round has at least started out okay, that they've been completely caught off guard by Attacker, who again just gets 2. He was playing in sandwich, they knew he was there, he swings into 3 of them, and of course walks away with a kill.
Well, Techno is at least going to be able to get 1. He knows that the second player is, but he can't quite get there quick enough. Somebody with a nice trade. The one thing I will say, there was some fairly critical things that when we were commentating yesterday I was mentioning, and that was on this map, that we would see players like Danking, for example, be able to peek ramp, and people would solo peek against him. There would be no dual peeks. Now, sure, they lost the round, but I just like this from Checkmate. It's just very simple things. Like, they're just playing as a squad. Sure, on an individual level, they are severely outmatched in this game. Like, they're not even a full squad, so I'm not going to harp on them too much. But they do seem to have much better fundamentals than a lot of teams. This round, playing very risky, and I will say they did just then run through the smoke one by one. So maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. Nice shots from Techno, though. Again, showing his stuff. He's got to be careful over the edge of the smoke. He's going to find one. He doesn't have many bullets left in the chamber, but he's going to connect the shots. This kid is ridiculous. If Checkmate don't make this a permanent move, they are going to be kicking themselves, because I could see this lad on Tiger in any time with how well he plays.
100%. Techno is so damn good to watch, and that clutch right there, jeez. When he was in the 1v3, we said, oh, this is a guy that we've been a big fan of, etc., etc. He just got shut down, but this time, I wish we'd have given him that kind of setup. We waited until now, because that was phenomenal. And a little bit of playing with his food there for somebody. He took a little bit too long to take down Techno, who's opened up this round onto somebody as well. That is fantastic. And can you imagine if you... So, for context, for anyone that doesn't know, Checkmate's player, the reason Techno's standing in is because one of their players broke their hand while celebrating qualifying for this tournament. He hit his desk so hard that he broke his hand. Impressive, really. Can you imagine you're celebrating, you break your hand because you're so happy, oh, I get to play this tournament, and then this kid comes along and takes your spot in the team. It's like, you were happy you got to play the tournament, and now you don't even have a team. That could happen. He's open up B as well.
Yeah, things are falling apart for TYLOO. This was already a bit of a sketchy buy, and now Dan King has no choice but to try and save. It's interesting, though, because obviously, I don't know how hard you'd have to hit your desk to break your hand. Obviously, for people we know, for example, like Dinko, his right arm's so strong it probably would have broken the desk. But I don't know. I want to see that guy's desk.
That one caught me off guard. That one. Oh, I was not expecting that. It's been me doing those jokes, but yeah. I did. I wonder what kind of desk that guy plays on as well. It must be just like metal. This is titanium
made of obsidian or something.
Because yeah, I imagine. Well, I've got a big kitchen table desk. It's my old kitchen table from when I was a kid, and it is chunky. Like, you would not be able to break this. But I imagine if you had a sledgehammer, it'd take a good few full hits for it to go through.
If you had a sledgehammer, my desk would break in half in one hit. It's just an IKEA desk.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend's desk is right beside me, and it's one of those. And I mean, look, it's sturdy enough, but in fairness, I don't think it's meant to be hit with a sledgehammer. That's not.
I'll be honest. The stability of my desk has been diminished, adding in all of the like lighting and stuff that we have, attaching it. I'm just like, my desk shakes quite a lot now.
But it's probably meant for like a monitor, a keyboard. You've attached like 100 kilos worth of equipment to it.
2 monitors, 2 lights, a camera, and then just any other
and the camera stand is quite heavy as well.
Yeah, no, that's a chunky stand.
I lifted it out of the box and it's like, oh, god damn. Like,
I reckon that would be as good as a sledgehammer for breaking my desk.
Probably. I wouldn't do that, though. I do feel like you'd get in trouble if you had to give it back. And there was just chunks out of it. What happened? Breaking the desk.
I've bought it, so it's all right.
Oh, well, go ahead. Whack your desk then. Give it a smack.
Mine now.
Oh, slowly. This is good. The Deagle up close. We know what they can do with it. And there was somebody actually that found that. He came running through the smoke with a USB at the same time. He's stolen it away.
He also took the AK, even though he's on 5 HP, and he's going to get the kill. Just trust him to get the one taps. Kaz has fallen off. This round is starting to scare me a bit. This was basically nothing invested, just the Deag and a few other pistols here and there. You could see somebody there playing with just a USP, but he managed to get an AK. Dan King's just got a kill across the site with a P250, and now Rue is the only one left. He's been tagged up. That Dink hasn't done anywhere near as much damage as you might have expected. He's actually just sticking this bomb. He's going for a 10-second defusal. I like the ambition, but it's not going to work out for him. Still, incredible amounts of damage for TYLOO. Now they are going to come back in with an investment. Dan King could afford a glass cannon AWP if he desires it. And of course, that whenever that's the case, that person is always the last one to buy.
Not a single AWP. All rifles. We'll see what the riffles can do. As TYLOO, they've got their 3-man stack towards this A site. Fairly conventional. It's just that they've given up a lot of the middle control. That might help them out. Summer's been spotted. No, he's not! Somehow they didn't see him, so he's able to at least get one. But the sunny skies of summer might not be enough. As Hawks coming through. He's finding kills left, right, and center. Kaz helps out. And a 4 versus 2 now is Checkmate. They've isolated every fight one at a time. And, well, I don't know if I would say they've isolated or TYLOO have offered.
Even a flank coming into slowly. He expects it, though, but not high enough HP to do anything about it. Nice round from Hawk, a quad kill from him, but I do like there's... I know that this seems to be silly and something that I think all of us have mentioned at some point, that a lot of the time when we see fairly basic stuff for European teams, that becomes quite impressive when it comes down to the Asian Counter-Strike, because you just don't see it. Even just basics there. One man planting, a couple watching connector, one making sure nobody can boost over the smoke and get in. They made it almost impossible, unless maybe there was someone in Palace, to deny that bomb plant. And they're just covering each other off. Like, I think this is why a lot of us now enjoy watching Checkmate. They've still had a mare map or two. I won't forget the Inferno game they played where they just didn't check boost the whole time. Yeah. But again, like, a lot of teams have done that. But when it comes to a lot of their T sides, that's where I'm quite impressed with them, because most of the time they don't give up too many silly kills. They're playing as a unit. They're making sure that they support each other. It's not just like individual plays, even though there have been some big individual plays for them so far. And they don't overextend. Like even here, right? You send one player out into mid, make sure the rotations don't come quick, then you get the B side. That player rotates off. He realizes his pistols. He goes, I don't need to fight this anymore. I can just fall back. Somehow, though, they still managed to lose 2 kills. This is a little bit scary. You can never deny TYLOO with these pistols. They're always going to do some damage here and there. The remaining 2 players trying to come in from the market. Smoke going to be thrown down. Hawk will even spray through. Manage to get another kill. And Danking a little bit late to the party. Few casualties here and there, but Checkmate, they never really had a problem with closing out that round. And they've now won a few in a row.
Yeah, they've built up their rounds for sure.
Like 5 in a row.
Considering where TYLOO were they 4-0 up?
4-0, yeah. And then that 1v4 clutch that they lost.
Well, so that's the things in motion, right? And it just speaks even more so to the impact of someone like Techno. It's not just one clutch, it's not just one round, it's what follows. And TYLOO are looking like they're in that reasonably successful horror movie. It follows. It's alright. Interesting concept.
See, when I watch horror movies with Bryn loves horror movies, but also a friend of mine and Hugo's, I watched a horror film with them. Hugo was there as well, and she ended up calling me an effing robot because I started laughing at one of the scariest scenes because I just thought it was so ridiculous. Like, horror films don't really get me worked up. Like, I like the ones that kind of screw with your head a bit, like make you think about different things, that have a nice twist. Whereas if it's just meant to be scary, most of the time it just makes me giggle because I know it's not real.
Yeah.
I have to believe that that thing could happen to me. If it's like a ghost or something, I'm just like, yeah, cool.
You know, slowly, he might be seeing a ghost in a minute because he is gone to the afterlife. It's a 3v3. Retaken into the B site, smoked out completely. Checkmate have got this one locked down. For TYLOO, it's going to cost them a lot of time to get back in here. And that fast execute is left Checkmate with a lot of utility as well. TYLOO didn't have much to start this round out, so it doesn't really help them that much. They've got 2 smokes to come back in. It's all down to spams. Kaz, Brew, Blitz, they've all been lit up through the smoke for almost identical HP as well. 76, 80, 76. I can appreciate that. But Checkmate are going to have to, TYLOO are going to have to just save over because they've got no access. And retaking B 3v3 with so little time, this is not ideal. And I think they've made the right choice. You know, I always found it interesting as well, the idea of, like, hauntings or ghosts being scary and stuff. It's like, I think if there's a ghost, and, like, provably, And that pretty much proves that there's some sort of life after death, right? So in essence, it takes away the fear of dying completely. So therefore, it wouldn't be scary anymore. You're just gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, I'm gonna live after this anyway." So
if you kill me, I'll come back and beat you up.
Yeah, exactly. I'll come haunt you. Like that's the weird thing about it for me. Like whenever I watch like Paranormal Activity or something like that, I'm like, well, yeah, I would kind of be like, oh, well, this isn't ideal, but I'd also be like, well, hell yeah, it doesn't matter if I die.
Well, I think for me as well. Oh, okay, somebody's managed to get all the way through the underpass. We can carry this on in a moment. His aggression is going to be successful, and this is something that needs to be shut down by Checkmate. This is the man that you don't want to allow to get confident, no matter the side of the map, because if he starts playing with his food, getting aggressive in that regard, oh my, this is very aggressive, and well, they are going to shut him down. Maybe a little bit of an overextension at this time, but we just have to see whether or not the remaining CT players, they have wasted a lot of time, which has been something that Checkmate have been able to keep under control for the majority of this match. They've also gambled onto the A site, and slowly, if anything, he needs a multi-frag here. Even if he just trades 1-for-1, that's the B site under the control of the opponent. Summer making his rotation slowly, spots the first, spots that Hawk as well, and that's the double that's slowly needed. And now it's left onto Summer on the site. A beautiful crossfire that ends up with TYLOO winning a round. It is going to be 6-5 still in favor of Checkmate, but now their economy starts to fall to its knees. And I do question whether or not they'll be able to keep up this sort of momentum. But yeah, the one thing that always, I think, gets me about like ghost stories is the fact that they're already in an inherently creepy place. Like,
yeah,
no one ever says like, oh, you know, I saw a ghost at Disneyland. It's like, it just doesn't happen. It's always in like, I was in this creepy dark cabin in the forest. Like, well, yeah, you were scared, so you start hearing things. Oh dear.
He's being wrecked straight through the wood. Those are the best kills when you get those kind of spams. As another player just walked up to pretty much where, yeah, that is a brave move. The teammate just died through that wall, and Rue was like, I'm gonna walk through. I'll walk right in there. They're not gonna kill me.
Spamming.
Yeah. They wouldn't spam me to death. But he's right. He's managed to tuck away, get a little bit of control. He's faking it out, causing a little bit of noise in the B apartments to keep these players in position, and it's going to work. Now, all the rotations they've managed to drag is Danking. Instead of being in the window, he's now playing in kitchen and watching for them pushing through jungle. So he's still got that angle to play off of. It is just this little bit more passive. It's going to cost them a couple seconds on the rotation in towards the A site, and he can't really go back in through jungle at the moment. Like, if he could, but it would be so risky because there could be players already in there. So I'd be surprised if he does. This executes a bet. Oh, it's not even an execute. It's just a swing by Blitz. But Rue is luckily, although the spacing wasn't great, able to trade.
But he could, oh, I was going to say could catch Hawk, but it's actually gone the other way. Attacker forced out of the corner. They haven't actually killed him off, though. He's been able to escape. The flashbang is so good, but Danking has him supported from the connector and hits his second shot as well. It leaves it all onto Root. More so low on HP. They're just throwing out counter utility. There's not going to be anything he can do here. Nice hold from TYLOO. It did rely on Danking hitting a couple of shots, but I do think that's something that TYLOO rely on quite regularly. Catching up to slowly as well. I will say there's now been quite a few rounds where somebody's done something just... Like, he does something good, like getting an aggressive kill, like this, and then just goes waltzing out into mid. Like, it just seems like the payoff just isn't quite worth it for him, but, well, they're winning rounds, so probably doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, if you're finding the round wins, it doesn't matter that much. And for Checkmate, they had their streak of rounds. They got their 5 in a row. TYLOO have started to answer back, and in this round it is just Eagles, no armor. I'm not too concerned. But the next round, the next buy round, is really the final opportunity for Checkmate to build up a little bit more than 6. For Mirage being one of the more even maps, 9-6-half in favor of TYLOO, I think it's reasonably what you would expect. They did win the pistol. They got off to a 4-0 start, so if it is 9-6, it's not the end of the world. But with Checkmate's momentum built up, I would like to see them come back into this one and close up that gap a little bit, because they had their streak of rounds. They looked good, and I don't want to see TYLOO build up a little bit of confidence, because a little bit of confidence in TYLOO goes a long way.
Yeah, the only thing that I will bring up, though, is from what we've seen so far, TYLOO have had some trash T-sides on this map. And mainly it's through their own undoing. Like, it's peaking in afterplant situations, just being too aggressive and having poor spacing and all the things that we said about going for entries. It would just be one player trying to open up a site on their own, no support, no utility. And, well, maybe yesterday taught them a lesson. The losing on Mirage again for the second time in this tournament. Obviously, the other losing to Beyond, which at least was a closer affair. The one yesterday was Whiteside just banging them out. So potentially we'll see a slightly better T-side from them. For Checkmate, though, a couple extra rounds would be nice. You want to make sure that once, if you don't win the pistol, for example, you're not going an extra few rounds down. That's what happened already in this half. And, well, again, it's going to be a very aggressive peek out from Summer. Danking having to fall back in towards CT, taking a hell of a lot of damage from the spam. They've also killed off Attacker, so this defense of the A side has completely fallen flat. Slowly is only going to be able to get one. This should be a save. Even though they do have extra cash to play with, a double AWP, both players already low, or more, one of them now dead. And yeah, Danking just going to try and save it. It doesn't really matter if he dies, because I said they already have the money to buy into the next round, but it gets just a little bit wasteful and could have handed an AWP over if the opposing side had wanted it.
Well, coming into the final round, 7-7, it's all to play for. The advantage going into the next half is up for debate. And I mean, TYLOO, you imagine, Dom, if they didn't win the pistol round, we could be looking at a very scary scoreline. Equally, though, if they didn't allow Techno to 1v4 them, isolate every single duel in that round, well, then we could also be looking at a more favorable one for TYLOO. It comes down to these small decisions, these little swing rounds. And they've gone the way of Checkmate at this point, I feel. Summer, well, he's just caught Techno running through the smoking connector. That maybe wasn't the wisest of decision.
Oh, somebody just going to pick them apart. When he gets in the zone, he's definitely one of the toughest players in the whole of Asia to play against, and it seems like he came into it towards the end of this one. We saw the AWP come out for him as well on Inferno yesterday, and he was unreal. There was nothing that the opponents could do. But yeah, it's kind of hard to judge who really won that half. Like, considering there was a big streak of rounds from Checkmate, you kind of expected a little bit more from them towards the end. But you do have to remember, they lost the pistol and went 4-0 down. So to come back and lose it 8-7, that's really not bad. But you do have to feel like they could have got quite a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. When you look in towards the Checkmate side, they could have gotten more. Absolutely. That last round is really a head scratcher for me. Techno going through connector without a flashbang, pushing through smoke, doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think overall they're in a good position, especially with Techno opening up this pistol round. Oh no, he's got stuck! He fell off the window ledge. He didn't mean to do that. Lost half his HP, gets pursued and taken down because of it. That's a disaster of a start. But they've got two players here. Three, in fact. The rotates have come through. The USBs are winning every single duel. And TYLOO, they're falling behind. Already a man disadvantage in this pistol. They're stuck on the bench, and it looks like they're being forced to sit down. Attacker's got to win out a 1v3, and he's already got two. It's a 1v1 now with Kaz, known to be in the back of the site. Attacker knows he could have moved at this point. He spotted him out yet again. He's going to try and get that bomb in a second. He's got to swing for it, but instead he's trying to poke a couple more fights. Ooh. Here's a headshot, but it's through the box. Kaz just about surviving. This Attacker looking for his fourth kill. He's slowly coming around the left side. He's not checking it. Kaz misses the shots. It's so close. One shot away from victory. Attacker, he has to reload in the open. He's down to 25. This one is an elongated fight. And Kaz, I don't know how this guy's still alive. He's dodging bullets like the Matrix. His shadow spotted. Attacker's still missing. He hits him once. Triple burst out. I don't believe what I've just watched, Tom. What in the world was that?
That whole fight took like 40 seconds. I think that's what we need. At the end of this game, rather than highlights, we just have that clip with a timer on it, just to see how long it took them to kill each other. Maybe just add some sarcastic music in the end. Like, the scary thing is, he wins the 1v3. Like, it's still heartbreaking for Checkmate that they don't manage to get this through. But Dear Lord, that's one of the longest pistol fights I think I've ever watched.
You know, it's awkward when the triple burst comes out on the Glock as well. He's like, why the hell are my shots not hitting? I'll just start spraying.
Oh my, they've done so much damage. Sure, it's only 1 kill, but Attacker and Danking both below 10 HP. Oh, Summer spotted one. But that's the thing. This is a bait. This is all the bait and switch. Like, that's fine. Techno is trying to sell this one. Okay, the second player dying, not so good. Oh, it's a little bit awkward for Hawk, but he will connect the shots eventually. And Ruse found another one. The remaining 2 players are so desperately low. Oh, they're going to go back towards this B site. Rue is going to get taken down. Are they really going to win another round off such a close position? Hawk is much, much healthier than the players on the other side. But they have the advantage of manpower.
That they do, if they can manage to land one of these shots, especially with the AK. The position over towards the van is hard to punish, even on low health. Although the player does still have to jump up. There we go. Attacker just swings, catches Hawk off guard, wins that duel.
Oh,
albeit
that's
a
2
little
rounds
bit,
they should have won.
That's a little bit faster than the previous duel as well, as we just got it in our ear from production that fight in the pistol round took 38 seconds in the 1v1. Considering one player was, what, 20, 25 HP? That's pretty awkward.
Oh, who knew that 38 seconds could feel like such an eternity? Dinko, maybe. Either way, Blitz. It's going to get another couple with the Deagle. Looking for every single one. There were 3 tasty headshots in there. And while these rounds have definitely not been clean for TYLOO, but they have been getting them over the line. A 1 versus 3 in the pistol. A 2 versus 2 where they only had 11 HP between them, and now just rushing into the A site, losing 3 players to a single Deagle. It's some extra money made. It's an AWP purchase for Kaz. The fact is, TYLOO need to be stopped. You can't just keep doing damage.
You know, when you look at Checkmate, and another point that we didn't bring up actually is the fact that they chose T side, right? So this is Checkmate on the least comfortable. And I understand why, right? You're up against TYLOO. This is a team that's going to smash you out on the T side. They're going to come in with confidence. Just like that from Summer. He ran out on the B side, but he was selling a little bit of a fake. Full smokes out there as they look to push into A, but unfortunately they've lost Attacker right away. They're pushing in one at a time. There's no utility coming over. And, well, this was not good. This was not good at all.
Well, the last 3 rounds weren't good either. It's just they had the players to drag them over the line. And Attacker having a much better performance, slowly performing as well. But the fact is that this is basically what I've come to expect on their T side. Like, super questionable rounds where they're just hyper aggressive. And, well, Checkmate have done a good job at holding the line. Bomb down, Danking. Saving for this long is going to be rough, and he's not even going to get a single kill either. So the AWP will hit the ground. Attacker and somebody are the only ones with any real finances. And yeah, they're going to buy, of course.
You know, that was a very questionable round from TYLOO. I understand what they're doing at the start. They full smoke out on B. They rush in with 1 player. He's obviously supposed to survive a little bit longer. And if he gets a kill, well, then you're selling the fake very convincingly. He doesn't, but it's fine. It's still recoverable. You've got players ready to push out the A side. So 2 Palace, 1 ramp. One guy swings out Palace by himself, dies. We wait a second. Another one comes out ramp by himself, dies. And then the Palace player's left alone. Why? That's my only question. Why? What was the intention? Obviously, they don't have smokes at that point because they've used them up on B, but where's the flashes? Where's the push together? All 3 of you coming out at once to take those fights, not allowing one guy to just go, oh, I'll spray him down, I'll reset. Oh, I'll spray him down, reset. Oh, I might spray this guy down now because he had all the space in the world.
Oh, Can they make this sketchy buy work? Of course, Danking's going to be the first one to get an opener, and the A side doesn't actually have much more defense. Blitz, well, it's not going to be his undoing. I thought the missed shots might give them an opening, but instead somebody is the one to find another. Looking like another quote-unquote TYLOO round. Now, Kaz is holding. The bomb still needs to cross to the site, which it slowly will. Blitz has just got 2 kills through the smoke. I don't know what's just happened, but whatever it was, 2 players from TYLOO have just dissipated Attacker. Now with everything left, but he's looking for another 1 versus 3. Hopefully, it won't take as long as he's only got 20 seconds left on the clock, so a 38-second duel won't quite work out. The orb's going to peek, and it's going to be Kaz to land the shot. 11-9, Checkmate just about scraped that one through, but considering what was invested, that wasn't that bad a round from TYLOO.
Yeah,
I want to see the smoke kills.
Being able to pull that all the way back by Attacker to a point where it was almost doable is definitely impressive. Oh my god.
What?
That's disgusting.
Well,
what do you
that's
do?
That's a vac ban.
There's nothing you can do against that. There really isn't. You know, that is what we talked about yesterday, Tom. That sometimes you just get free rounds. It's something like that happens. You're going to spray through a smoke, RNG goes your way, and that's a guaranteed round for you. And it came at such an important time as well. That's what we're seeing consistently. Like, what was Attacker? I know his name is Attacker, but we need a little bit more depth to the attack than that.
I don't get what, like, if you're going to do that, at least go through together. Like, why not? Like, play, I get it, you've got pistols. Take a risk, do something silly. I'm fine with that, but why has he just gone through on his own? Unless that was their attempt at a fake, like, oh, 1 player's walked through, they must be going B. Somebody in Danking have just got 2 kills with the Deagles. How much more can they do? Nice nade from Blitz. While somebody the only one remaining. It's not necessarily been a bad performance. Ooh, okay. He only needs 2 more. I'd hope that wouldn't be possible, and Techno, the second he hears the shot, peeks back out. He's had a bit of a slowdown from his initial stages, but still 18-16 against the undisputed kings of China is not bad for someone who's 16 years of age and playing in their first big tournament. That is... I'd say I'm a really big fan. I think that's the thing that always makes these like Asia events so enjoyable for me. Or any event, really, is when there's opportunities for smaller teams and you get to learn about new talent you've never seen before. Like, we've learned about Ronin this event, and Techno's the other one that really springs to mind of 2 players who, like, they definitely deserved their shot with some of these better squads because they've really impressed.
Yeah, Ronan and Techno, I think they've got a bright future within the Asian scene, possibly outside of it, but we'll see where things go for them. By the time we roll around to the next Ormore, I think it would be a big mistake if some of the bigger teams didn't try to come along and take an eye at these guys, especially because a lot of these teams do have many things that they could be fixing up. And when you see potential like this, you want to jump on it early, not wait until he's on another team that's wrecking you and signed into a nice beefy contract. It's the benefit of, I guess, teams like TYLOO, like Vici, they can have actual talent scouts whose job is exclusively to look at players like this and find them to develop the roster. I think that's a big advantage that they can take.
It's amazing how both you and Blair posted the same clip within 30 seconds on Twitter. That's nice.
Oh, mine was first. Let's just copy me.
Rue started it off, but again, it seems even though they get advantages in these rounds, that they just managed to slip away. Summer has found another one, and now Rue at the back of the site, he's got a lot of work to do, and slowly it will step up to the plate. It's left onto Hawk.
Bomb has been planted.
And with the bomb being planted, he might get a freebie. Danking didn't quite walk out far enough, and now he's actually almost put himself into a crossfire. The missed shots, hoping for a kill through the box, and instead Danking, he'll just peek into his spray. He's a mad lad, that's for sure, but he has won them another round. 12-10. I think the really weird thing about this game is there's not many scenarios where I'll say everybody on TYLOO seems to be like putting up numbers. There isn't like a 16-5. But there doesn't like, okay, Summer's a bit quieter than everybody else, but it's not like any of them are playing particularly bad. It just seems like Checkmate are actually living up to their potential.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This Checkmate lineup, as we said, was impressive. They came into this tournament as a completely unknown factor. I believe they replaced Mazalai, which set my expectations unbelievably low. But they have come in and delivered what I can only describe as a playoff performance. I would be surprised if this team does not make it there. Taking down TYLOO would be huge for them. On the CT side with pistols, they're already doing quite a lot of damage. 1 kill for Hawk. Player up close though, yeah. That was a drive-by by somebody with the Glock. Runs around the corner pre-firing. Hawk burns alive. Maybe it's a delicacy. Would you like your Hawk well done? Because he's been well done over towards that tall box area. The Checkmate 13 to 10. Here's their full buy, and they really need to do it now. Now or never.
Yeah, this is crunch time, and unfortunately they're going to have to move away from their double AWP setup into a, well, no AWP setup, because they don't currently have the finances that allow for it. TYLOO definitely looking better than they were on the T side. I'm not going to say they've fixed the single problem that we've seen. Like, it's not the case, but, well, I guess Rome wasn't built in a day, although they have played 25 maps of Mirage over the last 3 months, so yeah, maybe those problems will never be fixed. Who knows? Maybe they work very, very slowly. Maybe their analyst has been having a few months off. Well, maybe analysts. I know they used to have a few, which always blew my mind, because I did wonder. Maybe it's like, well, you know, in like football, where it's like, oh, my agent is my dad, but like you're such a good player that basically the dad will just go money, and they go, yeah, all right. It's like, for example, Neymar. I think it's Neymar's dad has made more money than most people ever will in their lives just for being Neymar's dad, which is pretty awesome. That's a job I'd happily take.
Yeah.
He legitimately gets like I think it's like a 10% fee or something insane, which is millions. Like it's millions. Like, go Google it. Like, how much his dad is worth? It's ridiculous. He might be a very good agent. I don't know, but like when you have to be the agent of Neymar, I can't imagine it's that hard. Either way, first man goes the way of TYLOO. They are fairly low on the clock, but with the execution coming in, I'm gonna try and boost over the top of the smoke. This might actually lead to a free kill, but the man he was boosting on's just been headshot through the smoke. A little bit of sweet revenge, I guess, after Blitz got the double kill through the smoke earlier. They're falling like flies, and, well, Rue doesn't stand a chance in hell. 14 to 10, a clean execute for TYLOO. Much better stuff from them as well. And this is what I'm talking about when I say, like, with the peaking. Like, this time they sit back more comfortably. The majority of the players don't take any real risks, and they win it very, very easily.
You know, when you're TYLOO, I feel like they've come into this one with a bit of revenge on Blitz. It is karma just flipping over. Obviously, he got that double spray down from behind the smoke, and this round he just gets sprayed down. They're ready for it, not letting him away with it. 14 to 10. That was a very important buy round. You know, they're on a forced buy. This should be 16-10. This should be TYLOO walking across the finish line. And look, I have no criticisms of Checkmate. I even when it comes to TYLOO, to be honest, Tom, like, there's a couple rounds where obviously there's things they could be doing better, but by and large, I think this is the most focused we've actually seen them coming into it on the first game versus a team that aren't necessarily, you know, they're not a Vici, they're not a Tiger, not like they've won Oramor events or stood up to TYLOO in the past. This is an unknown quantity, and TYLOO seem to have woken up and be playing much, much tighter Counter-Strike. Now, for Checkmate, this is a massive step in the right direction. They lost the pistol to start things out. They went 4-0 down. They lost the second pistol as well. So in total, they've lost 7 rounds in the early stages of the game. And here they are, in a position where they're probably going to lose by 6. So if they won both pistols, who knows? Who knows what would have happened?
Bomb has been planted.
Well, Kaz in this situation doesn't have much of a choice but to save the AK-47. Like the loss bonus at this point will actually be built up to a relative degree. It has been, I believe now, 4 rounds in a row for the side of TYLOO. So could be in a pretty good spot. Obviously, their finances not anything crazy, but it doesn't really matter as long as they win the next round. And well, the extra cash that will go into the bank for Checkmate won't be enough to get them the AWP, won't be enough to get them even rifles with utility for the majority of the players. So this is going to be pretty much the beginning of the end. I can't see them coming back to this. And yeah, it has been a much better performance for TYLOO. Like, obviously, there's still the odd moment here and there where I'm like, don't know why you did that, or I don't know why you took that risk. But I think that's always going to be here. And this one hasn't been mind-numbing, other than maybe the just sub 40-second duel that we had in the pistol round. Attacker as well has been someone that I think has bailed them out of a few situations. Bear in mind, he clutched the pistol. There was also that, I think it was 1v3, 1v4, which he came close, which, as you can see, it's been rounds where the economy of this Checkmate side has never really got going. And then somebody has been much more his usual self, I guess. Like, where we saw some performances yesterday where he was just getting shut down in every scenario. Now he's just headshotting people as he enters into sides. So realistically, this has just been a much better team performance, even if it's just on an individual level. And this round is looking rough already. Nice shots from Blitz, though. It seems like he's just a smoke criminal at this stage.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, Blitz he's getting everything done through the smokes, but unfortunately, Checkmate still need a little bit more. A 3v4 as TYLOO look into the B side. Techno tried. They had a flash to back him up as well, but somebody still saw him. Takes down Hawk. Attackers on Kaz, and that is 16-10. That is TYLOO taking what I would argue is probably